This scan reveals the two primary types of human fat. The blue tissue resting beneath the skin is subcutaneous fat, while the turbulent orange mass wrapped around the internal organs is visceral fat. For decades, medical consensus has treated adipose tissue as an inert biological reservoir, a passive warehouse designed only for storing excess calories. In reality, visceral adipose tissue, or VAT, is a highly bioactive, distributed endocrine organ. VAT refers to the fat stored deep within the abdominal cavity that secretes hormones and chemical signals directly into the bloodstream. Chasing downstream markers like LDL cholesterol and fasting glucose ignores the origin point of the disease. This clinical focus on surrogate numbers misses the primary driver of systemic failure. Systemic insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease are not inevitable results of aging. They are the direct, mechanical consequences of visceral fat pathology.
The pathogenic nature of visceral fat is tied to its proximity to vital systems. It deposits on the omentum, the pericardium surrounding the heart, and within the liver itself. This anatomical placement allows the fat to hijack essential organ function, releasing inflammatory signals that degrade the performance of the tissue it covers. Because distribution matters more than volume, a patient can develop severe metabolic disease without significant weight gain. The risk is determined by where the energy is stored. Subcutaneous fat, by contrast, expands outward beneath the skin, posing little threat to the structural integrity of internal organs. To reverse metabolic syndrome, clinical focus must shift. We must stop viewing obesity as a simple weight issue and start treating visceral fat as an aggressive, active driver of disease. Fat cells expand using two distinct mechanisms. They can increase in number or they can increase in individual size. Subcutaneous fat expands through hyperplasia, growing by multiplying into many small, healthy cells. This hyperplastic growth is metabolically safe, maintaining systemic insulin sensitivity and preventing inflammation. Visceral fat suffers a fatal limitation. Lacking hyperplastic capacity, it expands exclusively through hypertrophy. Under constant caloric load, a single visceral adipocyte swells to 20 times its original volume. Like an overfilled water balloon, the cell membrane eventually reaches its absolute physical limit. To prevent a rupture, the cell initiates an emergency defense. It deliberately downregulates its own insulin receptors, physically refusing to accept more lipid storage from the blood. Reframe your understanding of insulin resistance. In the visceral depot, it's not a disease, but a cellular survival mechanism to stop its own growth. As the adipocyte expands, it outgrows its capillary blood supply. The cell becomes hypoxic, meaning it is literally suffocating from a lack of oxygen. In response to this stress, the cell broadcasts chemical distress signals to recruit the immune system. This recruitment leads to an aggressive macrophage infiltration. These immune cells rapidly swarm and tightly surround the hypertrophic fat cells. The tissue then undergoes a critical endocrine shift. It stops secreting adiponectin, the hormone responsible for maintaining insulin sensitivity and protecting the blood vessels. The failing tissue floods the system with pro-inflammatory cytokines, including TNF-alpha, interleukin-6, driving systemic inflammation, and PAI-1, preventing blood clot breakdown. TNF-alpha physically interferes with the insulin receptor on healthy cells in other tissues, effectively blocking the signal that allows glucose to enter. Inflammation is not merely a symptom of metabolic syndrome, it is the direct mechanical cause of systemic insulin resistance. This state involves a critical biochemical failure. Systemic insulin levels are high, yet the visceral fat has become insulin resistant. This prevents the body from suppressing lipolysis, the process of breaking down stored fat. Because the stop signal is ignored, free fatty acids, or FFAs, continuously leak from the overfilled visceral fat cells. These leaking free fatty acids drain directly into the hepatic portal vein, traveling straight to the liver. The liver is forced to take up these lipids, leading to ectopic fat deposition. This primary driver of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease further impairs insulin response. When fat deposits on the pancreas, it induces beta cell apoptosis. This programmed cell death destroys the body's ability to manufacture insulin, leading to type 2 diabetes. Systemic resistance forces fat into organs where it actively destroys critical biological architecture. Two dietary-specific catalysts accelerate this failure: fructose and alcohol. Both substrates completely bypass the liver's normal glycogen feedback loops, meaning the liver must process them regardless of its current energy stores. This forces the liver to initiate de novo lipogenesis, the metabolic process of manufacturing new fat droplets from sugar and alcohol. This pathway produces ceramides. Ceramides are sphingolipid molecules synthesized within the cell that act as potent signaling blockers. Ceramide synthesis is triggered when there is a high concentration of free fatty acids combined with inflammatory cytokines, the exact conditions found in visceral adiposity. Ceramides serve as the ultimate biochemical shutdown, entirely blocking insulin signaling pathways in the liver and skeletal muscle, cementing a state of metabolic failure. These dietary amplifiers weaponize the lipid spillover, rapidly moving the patient toward irreversible organ damage. Using fasting glucose as an early detection marker is a clinical failure. By the time blood sugar rises, the underlying fat cells have been dysfunctional for years. The Adipo-IR Index is the superior clinical marker. It is calculated by multiplying fasting insulin by the concentration of fasting-free fatty acids. This score provides a precise measurement of visceral fat cell hypertrophy and the degree of insulin resistance within the adipose tissue itself. This metric identifies disease progression a full decade before a standard fasting glucose test would show any abnormality. Shifting focus to the Adipo-IR Index is mandatory to detect root cause pathology before it leads to a major cardiovascular event. Clinical success is defined by reducing the volume of the hypertrophic visceral adipocyte. Reversing the specific cellular expansion is more critical than addressing total body weight. Procedures like liposuction fail to improve metabolism because they target the healthy, hyperplastic subcutaneous fat, leaving the pathogenic visceral depot intact. The most effective intervention is strict carbohydrate and fructose control. Lowering insulin levels releases the biochemical brake on lipolysis, allowing the overfilled cells to finally empty. Targeted hormonal optimization, specifically with testosterone and estradiol, is a documented tool for directly reducing visceral fat mass and increasing metabolic rate. These hormones improve mitochondrial coupling, which ensures that oxygen use translates efficiently into energy production. This allows muscle tissue to burn released fatty acids rather than storing them. Heart disease, fatty liver, and diabetes are merely downstream symptoms. To arrest the systemic metabolic cascade, you must treat the visceral fat cell.
If you're interested in exploring more of these incredible connections from hormone optimization to metabolic psychiatry and regenerative medicine, be sure to subscribe and follow for more explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for watching this Within You Health production.